Hello, and thanks so much for joining us for Virginia This Morning. I'm Cheryl Miller. What better way to kick off our Friday show than with chocolate? Home-based professional baker Chiquita Manga is here to share her recipe for mint brownies. Good morning.
Good morning.
You've got everything spread out here, which is wonderful. The first thing we need to do is melt the butter. So you've got that process started, and that's a process that you really can do very well in the microwave, but you have to keep an eye on it.
Absolutely.
And that's the main thing, because you don't want anything to burn or over brown.
Yes, this is absolutely correct. So I stand by the microwave and I watch, because it doesn't take a minute for butter to melt. We put it in there for about a minute and it's already done.
And that's perfect, because what'll happen is the residual heat will melt what's left.
Yes, absolutely. So with brownies, so we're having some chocolate this morning. Brownies, we don't need a mixer. I didn't even bring my mixer this morning. So we're gonna have fun with this bowl, and we're gonna get our arms moving. So
a little workout.
Yes. So right now I have flour in the big bowl with a pinch of salt. And we're going to take this flour and we're going to take the cocoa powder and put them together.
Okay. And some people might say, why do you need a pinch of salt in something that's sweet?
Yes. Basically with the brownies, I just want to say it brings out the flavor of the chocolate, and I can never think of the right word when I'm here, but it brings it all together. That's the same thing with the cookies. Like, you have cookies and you have to put salt in the cookies, and it just balances everything out.
I also put a little pinch of cayenne in my brownies, and it does the same thing the salt does. It brings out, it blooms the flavor.
Try that. That actually sounds, I mean, I've actually heard about using cayenne pepper with chocolate, but I never tried it. So I'm gonna try that.
You're gonna have to go in the kitchen and do that.
I'm gonna try that, definitely. So I'm gonna mix the two of these together really quickly here and just whisk.
So you just want it mixed. That's a good thing.
Whisking. And
now, is a brownie mix something that you can overmix? Because I know with some things you don't want to overmix.
The brownie mix, I have not seen that with the brownie mix. Now, when it comes to like cupcakes and different things like that, with the cupcake, it's already sifted. The flour is sifted and that kind of thing. When you have brownies, you don't even have to sift the flour. So for me, I just mix it up until there are no lumps left, and then I just go for it.
That's great.
And you can never go wrong with it. Even if you have a few lumps in there, it tastes really good.
Brownies are good no matter what. And I was saying,
learning.
you know, how easy it is to just go ahead and make brownies as opposed to a box brownie, because it's pretty much as easy if you have all the ingredients.
Absolutely. Everything that goes in this brownie, or these brownies, are in your pantry. So you have your sugar, you have your flour, you have your cocoa powder, you have your eggs.
Yeah, most people have that old can of cocoa powder way in the back of the pantry.
I'm going to mix these two while we're talking.
So how much butter is that? 1 stick?
This is 1 stick of butter. Now the recipe calls for 2, but this is 1 stick. This is a half. Half a cup is 2. So I'm doing a half recipe. The regular recipe calls for a half cup of butter. This is a 1/4 cup. I'm sorry. Did I say that? A whole cup of butter. This is a half cup.
Okay.
Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to mix the butter with the sugar. And quickly here.
And this is a mint brownie. Where did the idea for that come from?
I love to try new things. My favorite thing, honestly, is a blondie.
Oh, okay.
And with the blondies, you can pretty much mix anything in there. You can mix nuts and brownies and blondies. You can mix chocolate chips. You can do, what is it, the Heath toffee bar pieces.
And we don't need that old can of cocoa.
No, and I love it. And so with the brownie, I said, I want to do something different. People love chocolate. You can't go wrong. My husband loves chocolate. He's looking at this right now and wondering if I'm going to take any of these home to him. So
well, maybe save him one. You can
maybe
do that.
one.
And this is interesting. We've talked about your history before when you've been here, but you came out of the world of business to start baking in your own home.
Yes.
Where did that thought process to make that transition come from?
Well, I've always been a creative. I actually went to school for fashion design and art and different things like that. I never thought I could bake. I never thought about baking anything. And when we found ourselves faced with a situation where it's like, okay, well, job's ending. I really don't want to go into anything else. And I went home and pulled out flour and sugar and water, and I just started making things. And I've been doing that ever since.
You bake the problems away.
I do. I do.
I like that. I do that as well. Okay, 2 eggs.
2 eggs. It's normally 4, but I'm just going to do this and mix it up.
And the nice thing is you specialize in mini sweets.
Yes, ma'am. Cupcakes, cake pops, brownies, blondies, and sugar cookies and regular cookies, chocolate chip. If you want regular sugar cookies, we can do those too. And it's just fun. I think mini is just so much fun. Cakes are fun. I'm not really good at cakes, so, but I do have cake friends.
Well, we know your husband loves chocolate. What's your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing, and see, I'm partial to everything that I make, but my favorite thing are blondies.
Okay.
Those are my absolute favorite. I can eat those.
So while we're starting, how much have we preheated the oven to?
We preheated the oven to 350.
Okay.
And these are going to bake for about 35 minutes. So they bake a little bit longer than I'm used to.
And 8 by 8 pan?
9 by 13.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I was thinking the half recipe, so.
Oh, with these? Oh, the half recipe, yes.
Okay.
You put that in 8 by 8, I'm sorry. I'm thinking, you guys have the full recipe, so make the full recipe. I do the half recipe just for time purposes. This is a quarter teaspoon of
vanilla.
I'm going to put that in here.
And then you've got your chocolate and your mint. You just took the chocolate mint candies and chopped them up, or do they come in chips that we can use?
They actually come in baking chips that you can use. And this is the Andes. I'm sorry, can you see that?
Yeah, they can see it.
Here we go. The Andes mint, and they look really good. You see the little green pieces and the chocolate? They come just like this. You could do it yourself and chop them all up. I'd rather not, and I really love these pieces because you can put so much more of them in there.
Okay, so wet goes into dry,
Yep,
or dry goes into wet?
Wet goes into dry. Here you
Okay.
go. I'm sorry.
That's
Give me some work to do. Yep, you just mix it all up. It's so easy and so quick. So.
And once we mix it, the chips go in here?
Yes.
Okay.
I put the chips in last.
Let's see.
And it's so easy to mix.
It is, and if you don't have a mixer, you don't want to get the mixer out and then have to clean it, which is my problem. I don't like to do that. And then again, an 8 by 8 pan. Do we want to spray the pan?
You can, yes, you can spray the pan. What I normally do too, thank you, Cheryl, is I spray the pan on the bottom. I put a piece of parchment paper on the pan, and then I put the batter in the pan. Oh, I'm sorry, spray it again, and then put the batter in. So, and I'll show you how it looks when it comes out.
Okay,
so,
and just perfect enough to get that, and then that goes in.
Yep, we just
and then this would go into the pan. We bake for how long?
We bake it for 35 minutes if you're doing the full recipe. I would probably half that with the half recipe.
Beautiful batter. Thank you, Chiquita.
You are welcome. I'm going to pull out these brownies that we already have ready for you. And this is what they look like when they come out. And you can see my parchment paper.
So that you can just pull them right out of the pan and cut them, which is great.
So
that's perfect. See, that just comes right out. That's my favorite thing to do. So the parchment or aluminum foil, we can do that.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
And the recipe will go up on the website by about 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can find the full recipe online. Chiquita Manga, thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome.
We'll bring you brownies. Your husband will get one if
one
you're
brownie.
lucky.